Have you noticed the decline in the number of likes or shares or even views you get on your photos when you post them to social media? That's because right now video is king. The algorithms that they have now, the AI, is pushing the videos and is putting the photos aside. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make videos using your photos so that people still see them, because that's the goal, right? Is to take the photos, share them with people, sell them if that's what you do. But if no one's seeing them, then it's not doing any good to take the photos. I'm also going to give you some tips on taking video in camera, because I do that a lot. I do a lot of like cinematic slow motion for social media, which is people seem to really like. I also drop some clips in there with photos that I've taken of the animals while I'm shooting video. It's a little bit more work, but it seems to be working out for me right now. The first thing we're going to go over is how to shoot video with your camera, just like I'm doing right now. I've always had a Canon, so I'm not really sure how to do it on a Sony or Fuji, but this is how you do it on a Canon. This button right here that says mode on top, you push that down, it's going to give you your camera menu, like so. While this screen is up, in order to get to video, you push info, and then it will give you your video settings for as far as whether you want automatic or if you want to choose the shutter priority, aperture priority, or manual mode. It basically has all the same modes as the still picture part of the camera has, with the exception of there is a C1, C2, and C3, which are custom settings that you can pre-program that always stay at the settings where you save them at. That's what I have done because I like to shoot slow motion in camera. So I don't want to have to fumble with trying to get the settings properly every time I turn it to video. So what I did was I set C1 at 30 frames per second, 4K. So that would be like regular video that you're seeing right now, YouTube, as the eye sees it. 30 frames per second is perfect for YouTube, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And honestly, I just shoot in auto when I'm shooting these YouTube videos. I'm not going to speed it up or slow it down, so it's good enough for that. If you're planning to speed up the photo or slow it down, it's better to shoot at 60 frames per second. This is still real life speed video, but it's much better if you slow it down or speed it up. You won't get any jerkiness in it because you have a higher frame rate. So my C2 right here is programmed for 60 frames per second, 4K. And because I have a Canon R5, I have the option for 120 frames per second, which is what I use for slow motion. When I'm shooting slow motion in camera wildlife videos, I set my camera to C3, which is what I have saved at, and these are the settings that I have saved. I have a shutter speed of 1/250, 120 frames per second, 4K. I use the aperture and the ISO to expose the photo or expose the video properly. I don't touch the shutter speed at all because the shutter speed along with the 120 frames per second is what I want for slow motion, and it's super slow, it's super smooth. If you're gonna shoot video in camera, especially with a big lens, you should probably get a tripod. It is really difficult to hold the camera steady enough to not get jerky videos. If you want the Jason Bourne style action photo or action videos, then that's great. Handheld shooting is perfectly fine for that. But if you have a tripod, and like I have a fluid head now specifically for shooting videos, it seems to really smooth out the video, and you can often just set the camera there and let it take the video without moving at all. So it appears a lot more like a movie you would see on TV. The camera's not moving, you're not moving, only the animal is moving. I do know some people that take jerky wildlife photos or videos, but and they get lots of response for it. But the videos themselves are very high quality, like a wolf eating a carcass, you know, on the side of a mountain. It's not, if you take jerky videos at soccer practice, people are probably not going to like them. Another thing that's very beneficial of shooting video is you can shoot in very low light with mirrorless cameras, and the ISO, having a high ISO doesn't seem to affect the video quality as much as it does photos. So you can still get some very quality videos, and it's almost dark outside. It's really pretty amazing once you get the hang of it. It's really beneficial. I'm gonna flip over to like a screen recording of my phone so I can show you how I would make an Instagram reel or a TikTok using photos. The other good thing about making videos with your photos is no one can save them. You can't steal them that way, because if they do, they're gonna have to screenshot it, and the quality is not gonna be near as good as it would be if you just posted a photo and they were able to save the photo. So for me, it's more beneficial to post videos anyway. You can kind of get away with a lesser quality photo because it's only going to be there for a few seconds. They can't stop or save and critique your photos like they could if you just posted the photo and they had an hour to look at it. Even if you have some beautiful photos that are not perfect, you can make some amazing content with them for social media, and no one will really know the difference because they're just looking at the overall video. I'm going to do this on Instagram because that's what I'm most comfortable with, but most of the editing software is the same. You just click the Reels tab, add the videos or photos that you want. I usually skip the sync part because I want to add my own music later. Obviously you can see when you slide up that this video is way too long for what I want, so I would just split it and then delete the rest. I do the same thing for the photos. These little numbers at the top are seconds, so I would cut them down to 5 or 6, 7 seconds, depending on what you want. Sometimes I match it with the music, but I just cut them all down so they're fast enough to keep it under the 10 to 15 second mark. Obviously the crop on this one is off. It's in horizontal format. You can crop it in the editing software, but sometimes it affects the quality. So typically I would crop them vertical before I export them from Lightroom so that they all fit the social media grid and I don't have to worry about that later. Once you have everything cut down to the way you like it, it'll come out something like this when you preview it. You'll have a little story to tell with your photos mixed in. Here's another example of a reel that I made that did really well. I matched it to the music with the photos and used some transitions, also including slow motion video in camera, which is what I really like to do. That way you kind of see the action of the animal and you see the photo that you got from the situation. Now that I've showed you how to make a basic video using your photos or mixing video and photos, you can really dive into social media if that's what you're into, and try to make a better hook or use trending music to try to increase views or likes. Doing the whole trending thing is something that I struggle with often because I like to consider myself pretty creative and I like to create my own things and be innovative or some sort of a leader, not a follower. But unfortunately these days it's much more difficult to go that route. I'm going to choose that route because it goes against my core values just to follow what everyone else is doing. And I really feel like if you're separated from the rest of the people, then once your content or your photos get exposure, they're gonna be better than the other people, because the other people are just copying people or copying things that other people are doing. I hope I helped you in some way with video, and I hope you practice with it and start using it. Even if you're like a wedding photographer or a real estate photographer, most of the companies now are requesting videos. So it's really important that you try to learn the skill if you want to continue in photography. And with social media, hopefully this video kind of steers you in the right direction about what to do with your photos once you have them, because we all know it's aggravating when no one sees them or you think no one sees them, but it's nothing to do with the photos. It's the fact that photos are not popular right now. If you have any questions about in-camera video or social media posts using your photos or even posts in general, I'm not an expert at it, but I might be able to help in some way, so drop me a comment and let me know. Next week I'm going to try to photograph swallow-tailed kites, so we'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video and you want to check out another one, I did one about moon photos, which I know a lot of people struggle with, and I have some really good moon photos. I've actually sold quite a few of them. My #1 selling photo is a moon photo. So I made a video about it. If you want to check that out, I'll attach it right here, and I'll see you over there.